this is a pretty powerful day for everybody. So it's a good day to connect with all of the different elements which are built of elementals. So the elements are earth, air, fire, and water. There's all these elementals which are unseen beings that resonate to the fifth dimension and beyond. And so they are awakening those who are ready to be awakened. First off, Sirius was one of the first places the first beings that traveled to the planet Earth. So they were one of the first beings that inhabited Earth. And they weren't always very, they came pretty much to, pillage and see what they could get out of it. But that was that beginning. And over time, some of the Sirians became very attached to this beautiful planet. It's an amazingly beautiful planet. So if you go throughout the solar system, you're not going to find a lot of planets that a third dimensional being can live on, that is as beautiful as Earth. So would you like to share a little bit more about that astrological part that you know about?
The Lionsgate portal occurs on the 8th month of the year, which is August, on the 8th day. So a lot of emphasis on that infinite part of ourselves, that part of us that isn't physical but is the light that's within our physical bodies and around our physical bodies. Now, as far as the astrological elements go, this is when the Earth and Sirius are aligned. And also the Orion constellation is aligned with the pyramids in Egypt. So it's a very spiritually powerfully charged time where a lot of manifestation and potential is arising. A lot of galactic and star connections are starting to come online. And this is all happening here on Earth.
And how will they come online? When you say come online, can you talk a little bit more about what that means, come online?
So this will be different for everybody. This coming online process can have to do with anything that involves past life. It can be a twin flame connection. It can be or a divine complement connection. It can be a deep connection with the earth or a deep connection with your star family. Or it could be a combination of all of the above. But what's most important is that it all starts off with going to connect with your higher self, because that connection with your higher self is where the rest starts to come into play. So no matter what people are coming online to, know that what is coming online is a higher aspect of yourself while you are conscious in the physical form here on the third dimension.
So we would like to talk just a bit about exactly what a higher self is. And what is meant by our higher self is that humans have come from the higher frequencies, such as you said before. And through those that are able to go inside within themselves and to raise their consciousness beyond their third dimensional daily life and then into their fourth dimensional being creative and allowing yourself to know that you know more than you know, and then going into that fifth dimensional part where you just let go of I should, I can't, I won't, I will, just be. And just being is very difficult for humans, because humans are taught from the time they're very young that they have to and they have to and they should and et cetera, et cetera. And so within this now, there is this feeling. In fact, I would like to invite everyone to take a moment and sit in a manner that their spinal column is straight up and down. And that means that you tilt your head forward just a little bit, because this immense energy field is connecting in these higher frequencies. What happens when these immense energy field comes in, it's extreme. So either you're like, whoa, this is so, wow, this is amazing. Or, oh my God, what's going on? Oh, da, 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 da. You know, you're gonna have more of it. So if you find yourself being a little erratic and running around a little bit, that's okay. That because there's this intense energy field that is allowing you to feel things that you hadn't felt before. It's a lot to do with feeling. And that's why the meditation is really good, because if you go into a meditation, you can put a dome around you and you can say, all right, I understand something really big is occurring, and I know that I can't see it, I can't hear it, but I can feel it. I can feel it from deep inside myself, but I have to be very still and go inside, because this energy field goes from chakra to chakra, because those are the portals that we have inside of our human forms. So it goes right in to your crown chakra. Now, and so then, in fact, Danny, why don't you take us down through the chakras, because you're really good at that. Would you like to do that, please?
Yes, absolutely. Our first chakra we have is the root chakra, or chakra, and that has to do with your stability, with your connection to safety, your connection to the earth. And then that moves into your sacral chakra, which is about your creativity. It has to do with fertility, sexuality, expressing yourself. It's very much connected to water, just like the root chakra is connected to earth. And if you move up a little bit more to that third chakra, you now are in the solar plexus, where you start to get in touch with your clairsenses. This is where that inner fire is, where you have that connection with your intuition, that gut feeling of your environment around you. And that solar plexus moves up into the heart chakra, where we get in touch with love, where we get in touch with those deeper emotions, those deeper senses that all have to do with our connection to ourselves and the connection that we have to the people and the beings and the earth around us. And from that heart chakra, it moves right up into the first higher chakra, which is the throat chakra. And that has to do with sound, communication, hearing, being able to express yourself. It has to do with manifestation. And it also has some Egyptian elements to it as well. If anyone has any time and they want to look into that, look up the throat chakra and its relation to Egypt. And if we move from the throat chakra up into the third eye, now this is when we start to get into the mind, but not just the mind, also what we perceive, what we see, the information that we're taking in, and the information that we see ourselves giving out. So being able to see deeper into that, past the illusions and into the bigger picture. And that third eye moves up into where we get our crown chakra, the seventh chakra. It is able, when it's open, to receive information and to receive light. And what is meant to happen is it's not meant to stay in that crown chakra. It's meant to move through your body all the way down, even past the root chakra, right into the earth and down into the core. So we are physical grounders to higher light, to higher energy for Gaia.
Yes, and so just take a moment right now, wherever you are. If you're driving, please pull over and park. Just take a long, slow, deep breath and feel that little, kind of a little tickling, right? Kind of where the soft spot is. Isn't that correct, Annie? Kind of a little bit back where the soft spot is. And so feel it as it comes in through your crown at the top of your head, and then it goes into your forehead, and your vision. And so first you feel that something is entering, and then you can feel that there's something that it's like you're seeing things through a higher place inside of you, through your forehead, and then moving down and feeling how it comes in to your throat, and you want to tone, you want to sing, you want to talk, you want to take this energy field that's come in and like share it in some fashion. And then why don't you do heart down, Danny?
Sure. From the heart, we have that connection to deeper love, to deeper understanding. It's not even just about the mind, it's about the heart-mind connection, our two strongest electromagnetic forces in our body. And from that heart down, we have that solar plexus back to those clear senses, into the sacral, which is all about that creativity, that self-esteem, and down into the root, what connects us to Earth, what connects us to the physical, what connects us to Gaia.
Yes. And so there are many awakened beings now. And there's many galactics have chosen to take a third dimensional Earth vessel during this now because of the immense power. And so they came in earlier on so that they could be mature enough within their spirituality at this particular time of this Lionsgate, because they came specifically because they know about their galactic selves. So they know that there are higher frequencies, and they're much more evolved beings. And they also know that this is like a now, that open up that Lion's Gate of opening up to humanity's innate abilities. And so as they assist humanity to pull that higher dimensional, fifth dimensional frequency down from the top of their head and through your body, like you have said, Danny. And then is when you want to go outside if possible, and even go barefoot if you want, and stand on Gaia's body. Stand on Gaia's body, and then feel that energy that you have pulled down from way up in, well, within the atmosphere and even beyond what we would know as atmosphere. And pulling that all the way down through your entire body, down your legs, through your feet, and just stand there and try to keep yourself as straight up and down as possible, and feel that energy and know that you are a portal. Humanity has come to become portals of light. And Danny, you and I, we both remember way back in Lemuria and the early times when portals of light, that was a normal thing that humans would do, that they were meant to be the portals of light. Do you want to share a little bit about that? Because we've had a lot of conversations about that. It's really interesting.
Yes, we have. And I love what you were saying about how we as star beings have done this before. And that is when those past life memories of Lemuria, Atlantis, Egypt, Telos, core of the earth, however you resonate with that, that's where these elements start to come up, because we're tapping into energy that is infinite. And again, we go back to that 8-8, that numerological component to this. That infinite part of yourselves is meeting that finite part of your physicality, where you're remembering more and you're experiencing things that feel so familiar, whether it was in a dream or meditation, but slightly outside of your consciousness, of just slightly outside of what your brain may be able to take in. So what's very interesting about this is that it's connected not just to what you're seeing, but it's connected to your heart. And I love that, because it goes back to that heart-mind connection. We came here for Gaia. We came here to assist. And that is a very heart-centered mission. So these energies, they're not just mental energies, they are all of the above energies. So you might be feeling different feelings that you haven't felt before, or maybe feelings that feel familiar, because you're tapping into yourself being a portal, and it's not the first time that you have accessed these energies. So that's something interesting that I'm going to leave over to you, Sue, and Arcturians, and see what you have to say about being a portal in this now after practicing for other nows.
Well, what we, the Arcturians, would like to share is that we would like to take a moment and take you into the core of the earth, because that is where this energy field needs to go. It needs to go right into the core of the earth. And of course, it's not in a third dimensional frequency, but the core of the earth has a higher dimensional frequency, where there is a whole civilization of beings, a lot of them galactics. And in doing that, they go down into that core. So after you get through that first chakra, then you shift and you keep on going down, down. And then as you go down, you find yourself that there is a place that you enter and it opens up from you. But when you are within that core of the earth, you automatically connect with the core of yourself. And so when the core of the earth, the center of the earth, connects with the core of the human, the center of the human, then humanity and Gaia become intertwined. And this is when humans realize that they came specifically to this planet at this particular now, because this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Remember that? This is the dawning of a higher frequency of light. And this higher frequency of light will go right into the core of the planet. And so it will come up in all directions. It will come north, east, south, west. And as it happens, it doesn't happen to like one group of people in one place. It happens to everyone, everywhere that is on the planet. Now, some people will not know about it, and some people will instantly know about it, and everything in between. And it's really about allowing oneself to open up from their inside, open up from their core, and then allow this energy field to move all the way through them, and know that it is not about them, that they are doing the reason for this incarnation. And now there's a lot of galactics that are here, that some of them are just acting like humans, some of them are in higher places, but there are a lot of galactic beings that have taken human forms, because it is very vital that humanity comes into a state of unification. In order to unify with everything that's outside of yourself, each person needs to unify with everything that's inside of themselves. Would you like to speak to that a little bit?
Yes. This ties really well into that Leo energy that we're experiencing right now, which also has to do with the Lionsgate. That is all about tapping into your courage and to be able to go within and to see the truth of yourself. That's a courageous act. That is you facing an unknown, which is actually known in a higher frequency inside of yourselves. There are a lot of different ways that we could describe this or analyze this, but at the end of the day, what's important to remember is that there is more to who you are than your job, than what you do from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., from what you are interested in to what you like. There is something deeper to all of us. And how do you discover that? You go within. And as you discover what is it that is that deeper component, that thing that no one else can tell you, you start to remember and tap into your reason for incarnating here now. And that's what these energies are really helping to foster and facilitate. Because chances are, if you are tuning into something like this, and if you've made it this far, then something has resonated with you. Now that will be different with every person, but whatever is resonating with you in this now, journal about that, meditate on that, because that is a breadcrumb, that is a dot that is waiting to be connected. And just like Sue and the Arcturians were saying, we are portals. And what are portals? Well, we're dot connectors. We're connecting the dots. We are portals of higher dimensional energy to Earth right now.
And when we tune into our higher selves, we are tuning also into our galactic selves. And so our sense of reality, our sense of the world, is not just planet Earth. Our fourth dimensional realities is when we begin to really open up and we begin to really question and we begin to explore and to pull up our creativity. And then as we move into our fifth dimensional reality, we begin to remember. And what the Arcturians would like to say to all of you, we highly advise that you write down what you remember, because we've said this before, but when you get higher frequency information, the brain has a hard time holding on to it. So write it down, and then share it. Pass it on. Just think, if everybody on Earth were able to feel this, and they shared it with everyone that they knew, who shared it with everyone that they knew, who shared it with everyone that they knew, it wouldn't take long to go all the way around the planet. And wow, what a glorious thing that would be.
Yes, sharing it, grounding it, recognizing it. So another part of why these energies are so important is that these are energies of freedom. These are energies of being able to embrace yourselves as a sovereign being, where you are not being controlled. There is no one holding any power over you unless you allow them to, or if you give your power away. So using these energies as a time for reclaiming your power is an incredible thing to be able to do.
Yes, and as you reclaim that power, you begin to allow yourself to communicate with the higher frequency beings. And those higher frequency beings are there. However, you have to allow your imagination to kind of take charge at first. because you don't see them, but you can feel them. You can feel that there is a frequency around you. And the first thing that the Arcturians told me, this is Sue speaking, of course, the first thing that the Arcturians told me was to write out my life. Then you really have a sense of who you are and how you got to be who you are, and you really have a deep, intimate relationship with yourself. And then as you develop this deep, intimate, interdimensional relationship with yourself, because you are, you're going into your dream world, you're going into your meditations, you're going into your daily life. And as you have that interdimensional relationship with yourself, then you know that you have been given this information not just for you. It doesn't come to you, it goes through you. So as this information comes into you, then you know that you have been blessed. You know that you have remembered that you are a higher dimensional being, and that you can remember the reason why you chose to take an earth vessel in this now. And you all know, as you awaken, that you are emissaries. You came to earth to be an emissary of light and to assist other people to remember that they too came to earth to be an emissary of light. And that light will blaze, blaze, blaze a violet fire, which is a higher frequency of light, is a violet fire. Blaze, blaze, blaze a violet fire, transmuting all shadow into light, light, light. That is an ability that all of you have. You just need to know that you have it inside. You are good enough. You are better than good enough. You are a higher dimensional being who has chosen to take an earth vessel. Congratulations and welcome to Earth.